cr101radio.com, podcasts, and more.
17. Taken for granted. May the 11th, 1954. Good morning, friends. One of the commonest complaints of young and sometimes not so young wives is that their husbands take them for granted. They like to think back to the days when they were being courted, when their husband-to-be was constantly on pins and needles trying to win their favour, bringing gifts to please them, and in every way making a special effort to ensure their love. Those were the days. Now they take everything for granted. If they ever open their big mouths, it's to say, "Why isn't dinner ready? Haven't you got any shirts ironed for me? And haven't you darned those socks yet?" It's enough to make a wife shed tears into her coffee, isn't it? Or is it? Frankly, I think that such women have a great deal to learn about love, or they wouldn't complain about being taken for granted. Because the essence of love is simply this: the ability to take for granted the faithfulness and dependability of a person and to return that same loyalty and dependability. The women who do not permit their husbands to take them for granted are to be pitied. They are undermining the most vital factor in love, a faithfulness that is so natural that it can be taken for granted, so constant that it becomes as much taken for granted as the air we breathe. True love is something that can be taken for granted like the air, the sun, the world, the seasons. It is always there. We accept it as one of the basic conditions of life and go on from there. If we have to worry about getting enough oxygen to breathe, life suddenly loses all its richness and is reduced to bare survival. If a man, woman, or child cannot take love for granted, life is reduced to a bare and insecure survival, and a meaningless struggle at that. Love has to be taken for granted, or else it ceases to be love and becomes mere whim and passing fancy. What happens when a woman complains about her love being taken for granted? She serves notice by her complaint that it cannot be taken so, and gives her husband an insecurity in his dearest relationship. Let's put it this way. A pilot who enjoys flying would usually find that all meaning had disappeared from flying if the earth suddenly disappeared while he was in midair. Flying is a joy to him only because he has the stability of the earth to live on, to take off from, and to land on. Remove that earth and leave him stranded in the air, and flying becomes meaningless and even a monstrosity. He enjoys flying because the earth is his and he can take it for granted. Remove from any man, woman, or child the right to assume love as a basic condition of their life, and you leave them in midair without any point of reference or any purpose to their life. The happiest home, therefore, is that wherein all the members can take one another's love for granted. The same situation prevails in our religious life. God is only truly real to us when we can take Him for granted as the basic condition and the one true ground of our lives. If we could not take God for granted, we would be in a hideous plight. We would have to begin our prayers with the anxious question, "Are you there this morning, God?" Or, "Are you still interested in me, Lord?" Thank God we can take Him for granted, because it depends not on us, but on utterly dependable God. This is the eternal security of Christians, and it is the ground of their confidence and strength. It is important, therefore, in the realm of our home life, to be able to take love for granted, and important that in all things we take God for granted. The reason for this is clear-cut. Our life is controlled not by the things we fret about so much as by the basic presuppositions that we do not even think about. What a man can take for granted determines his life, his behaviour, and his total being. If he can take nothing for granted, he moves in an unstable world as an unstable man. If he can only take selfishness and force for granted, then he reveals a basic hostility, a desire to domineer, and a willfulness of disposition. But if he can take God and the love of his dear ones for granted, then he can live victoriously and with assurance. We need to examine ourselves at this point. What are we able to take for granted? What can our wife, husband, or children take for granted? What are we giving them in the way of a basic confidence and faith? Do you take God for granted, or is he something you have to think or wonder about? If your life is built on the foundation, the Rock of Ages, Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit indwells within you, then you have a blessed assurance and a peace and joy that goes deeper than life and has its roots in eternity. Then you are never anxious. But in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ. Philippians 4:6 and 7.